I'm not very good at predicting trends. If at the beginning of 2021, I would not have said NFTs or GameFi. At the beginning of 2020, I would not have said DeFi. At the beginning of 2017, I would not have said ICOs. But no, 6 months later, all of those things happened in each of those years.
That's right.
So looking forward is very hard to predict. So we just have to wait and see. We need to wait to see what's taking off and then try to help it. So for example, today, I don't know what metaverse really means. And I don't think anybody really knows. It's a hard word. But nobody knows what it really looks like. But if a platform actually takes, in the metaverse space, actually takes off, gaining users, we should support it. Right? So we should, we should help them any way we can. If they need investments, if they're launching tokens that needs liquidity, we should list it. So we need to identify, we're looking for trends. We're not predicting ones. So as one of the largest players in the industry, we have to lead by example. So I think the number one thing we have to do is being much, much more transparent. So anything we can do to increase transparency, we need to do. So proof of reserves. Proof of reserves is going to take a couple of weeks, mainly due to the vendor being very busy. We're like, okay, let's do that, but before that, let's publish all of our cold wallet addresses. They were pretty public before anyway, so we published yesterday 6 top coins, which covers actually 80–90% of of the user funds. So now people can see on one page which addresses are the cold wallets. Anything that we can do to improve transparency. And I think we also want to educate regulators all around the world. How do you do audits on crypto exchanges? Not just KYC, ML, which is important, but how do you check the cold wallets? How do you do user balance reconciliations? How do you check transaction logs? How do you use on-chain monitoring tools to do this? So all of these things we do internally. We do real-time reconciliations across multiple aspects so that we can try to, and if any balance goes off, we get alerted in real time. So should we make those kind of systems public? I think all of these things we need to do as an industry, which actually, on the long term, I think will make the industry much healthier. So all of these things needs to happen. Yeah. I think we just seen another very big player going down. A few months ago, there was Luna, 3 Arrows. Luna was big, 3 Arrows was smaller, and then with Celsius, Voyager, they're even smaller. But then FTX is big. So with such a big player going down, I think we're seeing $30–40 billion of value that's in FTX valuation that was before that they raised that. Plus quite a few $1 billion of user funds that's kind of gone. So with this type of events happening, it's devastating for the industry. A lot of consumer confidence is shaken, and I think basically we've been set back a few years. Now regulators rightfully will scrutinize this industry much, much harder, which is probably a good thing, to be honest. I think now, before the regulations are much more focused on KYC and AML, I've always been saying, look, you got to focus on the exchange operations. Business models, proof of reserves, where the user funds. So I think we'll come into a lot more scrutiny on those fronts. But actually, that's good for the industry. Having that setback, short term is very painful for a lot of retail investors. That's on FTX, etc. But we feel that pain. But longer term, I think this is another wake-up call to say, hey, look, we're in a new industry. There's a lot of risks, and we need to learn how to deal with those risks and how to build a much healthier industry. I think Binance, there's many parts of Binance. I think I'm much more involved on the Binance centralized exchange. So as an exchange platform, we are the platform to provide liquidity to other projects or users in the ecosystem. So we view ourselves as an infrastructure provider for other people to access crypto. So we should be very neutral. We should be very secure. We should be very compliant. And also we should also be easy to use. So we should protect our users as much as we can. So that's the role we play as a centralized exchange. We also invest heavily in decentralized DeFi projects, etc. There, we're much more of an investor supporter type of role. Binance Labs invested in about 150 projects so far, and the portfolio has done really well. So there we're like, we have a group of projects that we are usually a minority investor. So we don't drive them, we give them, some we just fund, and like some projects we just give them funding. There's no equity, there's no even tokens involved. We just fund them for them to do something stuff that's useful. I got this advice from a senior leader in the early days of Google. He said, look, Google provides a number of infrastructure services people don't even know about. The time that you have on your phone is most likely synced with a Google time server. Google provides that for free. When you look up a website, when you're typing a website URL, the DNS lookup is most likely done by the Google 8.8.8.8 DNS server. It's free. So Google provides a number of infrastructure services here and there for free. People don't even know about it. His advice to me is like, you should just provide tools for people to use the ecosystem. So that's kind of our goal and our philosophy that we're trying to learn and copy. The next thing that all regulators are going to be very interested on is how account balances, right? So reserves. So I think that's absolutely going to be like where the focus is for the next little while, which is right. We learn from our mistakes. So a week ago, before that, they were looking at loans because all the loan companies had issues. But given the most recent revelations, I think people are going to be much more focused on user assets. So I think that's going to be the next, little period that's going to be the focus. Going forward, there's still many other things like wallet security. How do you secure your how do you do security as a large exchange? How do you handle customer disputes? Yeah. Do you allow ICOs or not in your country? There's a lot of things to decide. So, but I think the next focus is definitely on user asset security. Yeah. I think today is definitely consolidation, especially given that FTX just went down. So they're like the 4th or 5th largest exchange in the world. Yeah. So now they're gone. So now there's definitely consolidation. In a bear market, we see severe consolidations, and also with FTX going down, we will see cascading effects, right? So I think BlockFi is now bankrupt again, and I think Voyager deal is going to be I don't know what's going to happen there. FTX won the bid, but for $1.4 billion, but obviously they won't have the money to pay for that, so they will probably have a second hit. A few other projects going to be in similar situations, and I think it will take a couple of weeks for most of them to come out. So there will be. So right now, there's definitely consolidation. But the technology is not going away, right? So it's like the internet is not going away, blockchain is not going away. So we will recover from this, and there will be more. In a decentralized industry, when one player goes down, it causes a lot of pain, but other players will come in very quickly and feel it. And those new players that feel it will be stronger ones, right? So there'll be more competition. So the market takes care, the market will heal. The market will heal itself.
Do you agree that price doesn't matter in the short term? Leave a comment if you found the content interesting. Click in like button. It really helps the channel find viewers similar to you. If you're new to the channel or haven't subscribed to it, click in subscribe button. We post content daily to keep you up to date on the current market and news. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.